Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Fiume, here live at the IFA2024 National Convention, and looking forward to interviewing some folks at this year's event. I have Carlos Valderrama from Group 2. Carlos, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
All right, so Group 2. What is the company? What do you guys do?
All right, we are general contractors doing work, commercial interior renovation build-outs in the whole state of Florida, servicing the franchise community, helping them get into their space as fast as possible with quality work.
All right, there's a huge need for your services, for sure. I talked to many emerging franchisors. Of course, the huge challenge is that in franchising, we're seeing so many franchises are getting sold and the difficulty of getting open, right? And it's really frustrating for franchisees for that build-out time period. So tell me a little bit about what makes you guys different.
Well, we try to get in, offer the service of getting in at the very front end of the deal, where the franchisee will navigate around the situations, different products. That's where I give my input, give my 2 cents as a construction eye, and let them know where there's a possible bump in the road for them to avoid.
Yeah, and with there's so much development obviously in Florida. I live in Tampa. I get it. What are you seeing as one of the ways where you guys are providing a solution where you're able to do a build out quicker than some others?
Well, we pride ourselves on getting the franchisees open as fast. And you can call it a secret, is we use, my group travels with me throughout the state. So it's my group in the sense that those are my subcontractors, because I have to sub out some of the trades that I'm not licensed to do, which is air conditioner, to mention a few: air conditioning, electrical, and AC. And they go with me throughout the state, so I know how they work. I know what they need, the good and the bad and the ugly. So I'm able to navigate around that and get the job done in a relatively fast time for them to get open.
How long have you guys been around?
We've been in business since 1992.
Wow.
Yeah.
And has franchising been a niche for you guys since that time?
That's a good question. Actually, no. We do construction, general construction, have a roofing license in the state of Florida as well. The license, by the way, is mine. I qualify as a company to do work. I have a roofing license. I did a lot of roofing work for a long time. I did some development in Doral and down South Florida for myself. So I've done just a little bit about everything. Just in the last, I would say about 8-10 years, I've focused on the interior commercial, and probably franchises, focused on franchises probably about last 6-7 years.
Okay. And franchising has exploded, really out of COVID, is where we've seen just a tremendous number of new locations.
Yes.
So tell me, what are you hoping to get out of this year's IFA?
New customers, new brands that I can help them expand into Florida. Maybe some of them that are not in Florida and they wanna go into Florida and expand into Florida. I can help them out for sure.
There's certainly a lot of franchisors that want to be in Florida and Texas for sure.
It's funny because I've also met several people from out of the country, and when they want to expand into the United States, they look at Florida as unfortunately California too. But let's not talk about California. But Florida is a big one for a lot of people, and international. I'm finding as well.
Yeah. So tell me, in the franchising space, are there greater challenges in doing build-outs for franchising because of the specifications, or is it easier because they have templated out the construction and what they need?
Well, as far as the complexity, it also depends on what type of franchise it is, because a fast casual is obviously not the same as doing a retail, a Dollar Tree or a Family Dollar. It's not. You have a full kitchen, you have a hood, you have a lot of complexities. Now, as far as franchises being more or less, as they're better to work with, because once you get on board with a brand, like I have with a handful of brands, it's the same store, cookie cutter. So I know what goes into these stores, one after the other, after the other, after the other. So that's a plus. It speeds up the process. Maybe at the first one, it's a learning curve, but yeah, from the second, the third, and the fourth one, it's just cookie cutter from there on.
That's awesome. Carlos, thanks so much for stopping by, and enjoy the show.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.